Hi, thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk to you about what we call a gray jar. I learned this from one of my instructors some years back, so I thought it would be nice to share. This can work for acrylic paints or oil paints. And what you're going to do is have a container. See, I'll zoom out. Sorry about that. You need a container that is somewhat airtight, and it will serve to save your leftover paints in. This is one of the containers. It's hard plastic, which I recommend hard plastic or glass. It is okay as far as how much paint it will hold, but it has this shape here which constricts your brush or palette knife from reaching all of the paint. So it needs to be airtight. Here is one. Can't remember what was in this one. Whether it's hair products, I think that may have been, or food was in here. But just rinse them out. Rinse the jar out and start putting leftover paints in it. I tend to sort my paints out. I don't put them all together. This, as you can see, has browns, some raw sienna. I put the lighter tones in here. I'll put the browns in here sometimes just to break up the white. This also has some gold and some unbleached white. But this is a glass jar. You just take the paints off your palette, scrape them off your palette, place them in here. And sometimes you may find you need to add just a little water, not much. Add just a little water to that, and it will keep it moist. This has been in here for about a year and a half. This is, now this one I think came from one of the Chinese places, the food. And so this is plastic with a lid. That paint's still good in there. This is, I got this from a friend. It's has a lot of liquid on it, so she taped this around. But this is a baby food jar, and these work really well because it doesn't require that you put a lot of paint in it. But if you tend to scrape off a lot of paint after you have completed a painting, then my suggestion would be go for one of these larger sizes. I don't like this, but a larger size jar or container like this, and you can hold more paints in it. And that is a way to save the paints instead of throwing them away. And what I will do is I will do a painting where I use the paint from the gray jar. It's called a gray jar. Everything mixed together will end up being some funky muted gray down tones, but it gives you a nice little surprise when you scoop the paints out of there. The one thing I will say is, as you see the paints here on the outside, the colors, sometimes when you scoop them out, that's not exactly what you get because there will be layers. You may have layers of paint in there, but it creates some interesting effects and results on your paintings when you do use the gray jars. So the gray jars, again, are for saving the leftover paints when you clean off your palette. Instead of throwing them away, just put them in a jar, and you don't have to sort the colors like I did in these other ones. As you can see in this one, I put everything in one jar. Thank you for joining me. Until next time.